If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell icon to get the latest updates.
Okay, good morning, guys. This is just what day number 4. So let's just quickly summarize the topic that we did on Friday. I think these things we anyway completed, right? I'm not going to talk much. Let's quickly go through. Why is the distribution model required, right? We know it's one way. It's sending the transactional documents, the delivery documents. Can you guys see the Word document?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we still need a distribution model for embedded? Of course, we need them because transactional data, there's no escaping. Only master data, there's no need to duplicate. But transactional data for embedded as well, you need a distribution model. So name the main BAPIs, delivery change and delivery distribution, delivery change. QRFC is the technology, and you could appreciate, right? There is a business dependency built on, and the preceding message fails, the following message also will fail them. So which are the transactional data that are transferred? Inbound delivery, outbound delivery, and posting change deliveries. Can we delay the distribution of deliveries? Of course, we can run the background job and then the routine or the incompletion control, you can check and then get it released. The delivery split function, we know it's just to avoid a mixed bag scenario in the delivery. What are the key configuration prerequisite? The delivery split and preferably the PO tolerance shall be given to EWM. Changes possible, IBD, OBD, yeah, IBD since the beginning, 2006 or 7, but OBD only recently, maybe 9.0, I think, maybe in 2015 onwards, OBD change is also possible, provided you have to be a S4HANA system. We could appreciate the business system and group, especially in the complex landscape directory. It plays a pivotal role. And additional handshakes happening from EWM to ECC, we know. The delivery change, the batch split, and GRGA message, many things. So this is where I think the header of the document is controlled by. Sorry, the header of the document in ECC or EWM is represented by document type or delivery type, along with document category. Item of a document, similarly item category, and then you call it item category or item type, it's one and the same. But document category is the common denominator. Name a few service profiles. Anyone? What are the service profiles? Why typically we go for a Z or Y document type in a configuration in a implementation?
One is number range.
Yeah, the basic one is number range, but yeah. What other profiles profiles
Pricing,
or procedures?
pricing, output, tax, text.
Right. Pricing is not a EWM, baby. Anyway,
Oh, sorry,
yeah,
not sorry.
Output,
yeah.
text, status management, incompletion control, partner determination, reference documents.
Yeah.
These are the things. Yeah. Good, Bipin. Yeah. So, customer profile can be modified. System profile, you cannot modify them. System profile is sacrosanct, but customer profile, you can modify them, and either you can assign it to the document header type. Document header means delivery type or document type. For item controls, we map it to the item type. So CCK, we know how to default, and PO tolerance, it makes sense to give it in EWM. Now coming to the documents, what is the purpose of IDN? IDN is like a internal document to do the checks and balances. Mostly it's applicable if you are a 3PL connecting to the non-SAP systems to build your interface. But for embedded system, anyway, it is not applicable. And for decentral system, there is a configuration control to switch it off. Why is final delivery required? We know for late outbound delivery split and for invoice before GA, we need the final delivery in the outbound. Which documents is the main document, also called as warehouse request, the inbound delivery or the outbound delivery order, the ID or the ODO. What is warehouse task? Warehouse task is the underlying document without which you can't do any movement in the EWM, whether a put away or pick in or replenishment. You need a task. The task will be having a WPT, which will give the direction, like the bus route we talked about on the other day. Why is order required? Warehouse order required? Anyone?
Warehouse order is a kind of a instruction to the picker or put away person. It's like a transfer order.
Yeah, it's like a transfer order instruction, correct? But it's a meaningful package, an executable optimum work package.
Yeah.
So that in a given trip, you can get the maximum stuff to the staging area or to the work center. Yeah. So what are the org elements and master data that are transferred to EWM? So the org elements means plant and shipping points. Normally we do it using core interface, but now the S4HANA decentral environment, we don't have mechanism to send the plan. That's why we are doing a smart, override with the sending the BP, and then we are doing a piggyback or something. So plant is not possible to distribute or send between the systems. And anyway, EWM is doesn't care about the plant. EWM only knows about the location and the supply chain unit. Okay, so whether plant and vendor replication for classical customer creates for classical customer, you have the option to create all three: supply chain unit, business partner, and also location. So all three we can do that. Batches and characteristics also communicated between the systems using the IDOC or DRF. But the old customers, the classical customers, they use it through the core interface. For them, everything is core interface, CAF. But for S4 decentral customer, it is IDOC, either IDOC or DRF, data replication framework. Change pointers are not required anymore. SAP has taken the hit. They said, okay, we don't want to trouble the decentral customers. So change pointer and monitoring the batches flowing between the systems is not a headache of the client actually. It is a SAP's headache now. So what are the possible plant storage location combination? Anyone? Plant and storage location, how this can be mapped to the warehouse number? What are the possibilities?
Yeah, it is 1:1 normally. So one plant, one is log, one plant, multiple is logs. And for warehouse also it is one plant, multiple is logs, and one warehouse or the multiple warehouses.
Yeah, simple SPSW, SPMW, and MPSW. Single plant, single warehouse, dedicated plant warehouse, otherwise, or multi-plant single warehouse or single plant multi warehouse. Right, makes sense?
Yeah. I think the abbreviations are good. It'll take time to remember those.
No, I understood, but like dedicated plant warehouse.
Yeah.
Because plant multiple locations, yes, but yeah, the plant only ultimately it's whether single plant pointing to one warehouse or single plant multi warehouse or multi plant single warehouse. Yeah, what is a possible ERP EWM linkage? We know many to one or one to many. What is the obvious limitation in embedded? Of course, we cannot have this multiple ERP pointing to one EWM or one ERP pointing to multiple EWM. That's ruled out. If you are an embedded customer. Name the logistic structural elements that have linkage or assignment to EWM structure: plant, storage location, and shipping points and receiving points. So, what are the major EWM structural elements? Storage type, section, activity area, warehouse number. Yeah, these are the things which we know. What are the different types of warehouse? Anybody?
Production, distribution, cross-stock. Cross-stock is not a warehouse. Yeah, location.
You're right. Production, distribution warehouse, cross-dock warehouse, or a transit warehouse, and service parts warehouse. What are some of the key considerations that will decide on the complex, warehouse complex? We have to see the proximity, if it's in the same region or quite far, and the authorization and how frequent the movements are happening. Accordingly, we can map the other complex as a storage type or a warehouse number. So if it is a geographically quite apart or quite separated long distance wise, then it makes sense to go for warehouse number. And also you need to track the stock in transit, then go for a warehouse number. But if you are a very frequent movements and it's just an adjacent building, and there is no need for in transit tracking or shipment documents, then you can go for one warehouse number. You can just map them as a storage type. So what are the key controls at the warehouse number level?
Batch management, delayed update.
No, that's not on the EC side. I'm talking about the EWM warehouse number when we define the warehouse controls. Yeah. The global data, the weight unit, the volume unit, the calendar and the special WPTs and also the procedures for packaging specifications, those are maintained at the warehouse number level. Storage type, anyone? What do you understand by storage type?
Rack, the ID point, pick point.
Yeah. High racks or the shelf storage, the mezzanine, ID point, pick point, yard storage, open storage, or the interim areas for staging, and also the work center. In EWM, every storage type has a role to play. Because you're saying something?
No, we can do it. It's just a spatial restriction within warehouse. That's us.
So the storage types you are aware of, as I said, Bipin, shelf storage, the rack storage. Name a few storage type role, the same thing, staging area, door, work center, ID point, pick point, or the combination role, ID come pick point and storage, work center come staging area. Some are for ASRS and also for production supply area, So those are the roles. ID point is used in the inbound, basically the sensor detecting the, the dimension, the projections or anything, label quality, and before giving it to the crane. Pick point we saw on the video, the gray orange, where the entire mobile unit is brought to the workstation, and then you can do the both pick to light and put to light systems for doing an efficient allocation, system guided. Door, door is a place where the TU is docked and you can do the unloading or loading activities. And door is not mandatory. Staging area is good enough. You can load it to the, you can do a simple loading, or if loading is optional, then door is not required. Door is only required if you are doing the loading activity. Loading is like a complex loading, meaning using tasks. If you are doing the loading, then you need the door. The staging area can be managed effectively using the three elements only, storage type, section, and bins. And you can go to the granular level for the stop sequence or loading sequence or whatever. I'm not sure, stop sequence, I guess. And also the customer specific consolidation. For example, the customer asked for 100 line items and it's picked from different zones and all has to be converged in a particular bin. Then that can happen thanks to the consolidation group and micro management of the staging area. Different storage section, anyone? What is the difference between storage type and section? All are grouping of bins only, so.
Fast moving, slow moving.
Only Bipin is talking. Nobody else. No other volunteers. Guys, you guys are okay or? Sandeep, Chaitanya, Shashank, Vikas, Venkatesh, all good?
Storage section is basically subdivision of storage type. Like
subdivision of storage type. Very good, yeah.
Moving, slow moving, non-moving items, like separately we can store in this kind of sections.
Right, fast moving, medium moving, slow moving. You can, the program, the ABC analysis or the slotting can determine based on the velocity, and then it can tag the indicator accordingly, or it can suggest the planned values accordingly in the product master. So section is basically plug and play. It's again grouping of bins, but it is a subdivision of storage type, whereas storage type is a subdivision of, it's in the hierarchically placed storage type on the top, and then the section is one level below, And section is not a hard and fast rule. You can just dynamically change them. You can increase the number of bins and decrease them at a need basis. That is section, normally used for fast, medium, slow, or heavy, bulky, or light items, or even for temperature controlled or corrosive items and stuff like that. Define an activity area, we are not touched. So that's where we stop section. And then we move on to the bin master. So bin master, let's quickly complete them. What are the EWM masters you are aware of till now? We know the vendor customer master and also the bin master. Okay. What are the possible ways to create the bins in EWM? Either you can define a template structure and then create them using the background job or the foreground job, or you can create one by one for the ad hoc bins. The supervisor would be there doing some bins here and there. So you would be using the LS01 transaction. And also in the monitored method, we can copy them and change the prefix. And most importantly, the bin you will do a file upload, a CSV file upload. Through which transactions the bin master periodically maintain corrected block. There's a transaction LS11, which is used to do the mask changes for the bin. And also, the blocking can be done via the monitor method. Name some key attributes assigned to the bin master. Anyone? What are the important attributes you are aware of in the bin master?
The size, verification, the coordinates, capacity.
Right. Beautiful. Yeah. The verification field and the weight, volume, and the dimensions and capacity data. That's the capacity data. The bin type, bin access type, and a section, of course, and XYZ if you want to plot them and then do a proper time and distance calculation and or the benchmarking, the labor standards and labor management. Then you go for the XYZ mapping. Otherwise, it's not required. And it has several tabs. The bin master has several tabs and one for stock data and the other one for physical inventory data and activity areas. And also you could see the open task, which are inbound or outbound from the bin point of view. So the bin master is huge in EWM. And which attribute define the bin weight and volume? That's a bin type. You can either directly give the weight volume or you can just give it via bin type. Difference between bin type and bin access type we appreciate. These two are different purpose, used for different purpose. Bin access type is basically for a resource qualification. But bin type, that's the one bringing in the weight, volume, and dimensions. Okay, with that, I think we are done. So we stopped here at the bin master, the aisle stack level and bin subdivision and bin depth. 5 attributes are there, 5 identifiers are there. Aisle, stack perpendicular to the aisle, and then the level. And also we can map the bin subdivision and bin depth. There could be multi-deep, rack storages. So aisle also we can earmark whether it's an inward aisle or outward aisle, to avoid any head-on collisions and other things. And bin, as I said, bin can be maintained using the LS10, the template, with the start value, end value, and an increment, or the CSV file upload. Individual bins, anyway, LS01 transaction. And using the monitor method also, we can copy them and then change the prefix, being unique at the warehouse number level now. So there's several tabs in the bin master. We know that physical inventory, stocks, warehouse tasks, and activity areas, and one more tab for PSA assignment. And then handling unit, we know product along with the packaging material together handled as one unit is handling unit. And there are different types of handling units in EWM, like wire basket, box or a carton, crate, plastic totes, truck, container, and then the pallet. Of course, the most important one is the pallet, the carton box, and plastic totes or the crates. With regards to technical nature of HU, we know there is a mixed HU, and then there is a homogeneous HU, and then nested HU, put away HU, pick HU, ship HUs. In the mobile device, we talk about the source screen and destination screen. So source HU and destination HU. Cross delivery HUs, the multiple deliveries are packed in one HU, especially going to the same customer or to the transit warehouse. So that will be cross delivery HU. And then the deco HU, which needs to be deconsolidated. Slotted HU, we talked about the distribution equipment. There could be multiple slots in HU, and then maybe slotted HU is used for the gray orange also, the mobile shelf unit. I'm not sure. Slotted HU. Quant, we know the uniqueness of the material in the bin, the existence of the material in the bin, and it's of unique attributes. So in this particular bin, there's a free quant without HU, and then there's a HU, multi-level HU, nested HU, and there are quants underneath, and this is a single level HU, and then the quant. So HU acts as an intermediate layer, and if there are two batches in the bin, that means two quant. And if there are two stock types, for example, landed quantity, 80 is unrestricted, and 80 is unrestricted, and 20 is block stock, there are two quants. So quant means it has to be unique in terms of, product batch, PD, owner, stock type usage. And there are two concepts, stock quantities, right? Available quantity and physical quantity. When we say physical quantity, simple example could be in a bin we have 10, and there's an open picking task for 3. In that case, the available quantity is 7, and physical quantity is 10 anyways, And then these are the stock attributes. Any questions on the quant?
So Rajan, we always saw that even the demo also with HU. So I know that is not very peculiar, but there will also be cases without HU, right? Did you see there are more cases with HU or without HU in case of EWM? Because in WM actually we saw that without HU more. It could be SU, but may not be HU.
You see, for many industries, right, they use handling units, the pallet in, pallet out, or, the carton box also, it's highly recommended, especially, if it's serial managed. And it's not mandatory. You can just deal with the, loose items, not a problem. But I've seen, still we can leverage on the HU until the last put away, After the put away, maybe the HU can be deleted, if you don't see any purpose in the picking activities or the downstream activities, then we can delete the HUs. Till that point, the HU can serve better, to simplify the put away, meaning you can move them as one unit together without getting into the nuts bolts of it. In that case, I would say HU, it's highly recommended, and see opportunities for using HUs, rather than not using HUs. HU, it's like a horse, we just need to see if we can use the horse, to reach wherever we want. And just keep in mind, as I said, HU, don't keep in mind that it's forever, it has to be, once you have the HU number, then everywhere you have to scan, and no. You can close the HU chapter after completing the put away also, meaning we can make the HU disappear, if you feel that HU is not required in the outbound loop, then you can, make it disappear or cancel the HUs. Even the forklift can be mapped as an HU, pick HU. For example, in Mitsubishi, they said they are lifting the outdoor unit or the indoor air conditioner units, and mostly they do partial picking. For example, one pallet having 10 outdoor units, they pick 2 or 3 or, 1, whatever. So in that case, the forklift itself is mapped as a pick HU, and then whatever they pick, it will be assigned to the forklift. And then while dropping them, the product only dropped, maybe to other destination HU. You can imagine, what I'm talking about. So the forklift is mapped as a pick HU, and then while dropping at the staging area, it can be dropped to another, a standing tote, or what do you call that, standee, because they have space constraints at the staging area. So they have a standee. The standee is mapped as a HU for consolidation purpose. So here we are talking about a forklift as a HU, and then the standee as a HU, and there could be a bin as a HU also, so to see the capacity and, to have a proper addition to stock and yeah, many things, it just n number of things can be done using the HU management. So it's highly recommended to use HU. Bipin got it right, what I'm trying to say. Having some difficulty with my line, yeah. Okay. Okay, the next topic is activity area. Activity area is an interesting topic, and it just has a lot of usage in EWM. With activity area, we can do many great things in EWM. Yeah. So activity area is nothing but logical grouping of bins. Again, it's a grouping of bins. At the end of the day, storage type is a grouping of bin. Section is grouping of bin, but activity area also grouping of bins, but for different reasons, business reasons actually. Yeah. So activity area to storage type could be one to many or many to one, or one to many. For each activity area and activity combination, we are sorting the bins. Each bin will carry the sort number. For example, put away is an activity, picking is an activity, physical inventory is an activity, replenishment is activity. CLSP is also an activity. Cross-line stock put away is an activity. So for these activities and activity combination, activity area and activity combination, we sort the bins, and each bin carries a sort number. The main idea is the postman or the courier man, right? We talked about when he's going and distributing the couriers. We don't expect him to go back and forth. So the bins will be proposed based on the sort number for the put away activity or pick in activity, depending on the operations, what he's doing. So the main idea of our usage of pick activity area is PPO, put away path optimization and pick path optimization. It could be any path, inventory path or replenishment path, doesn't matter. I just took two, pick path and put away path, being the core activities in the warehouse. CLSP, on the other day, someone was talking about, I think Bipin was talking about one-sided loading or something, right? Is it Bipin or Charu? CLSP, cross-line stock put away.
Yeah, we discussed that, yeah. Balancing
So, and
load
as
balancing.
is, yeah, load balancing, correct. And activity area usage is very widely used in EWM. Determination procedures, work center determination, WOCR, queue determination, template determination, wave template, or if verification controls can be handled, cartonization planning, you name it, at least some 10 usages are there for activity area. So this is the activity area configuration. You define the activity area, and then we say, for example, aisle 1 to 4 is, Bipin's area. Aisle 5 to 7, it's my area. Aisle 7 to 10 is Chaitanya's area. Likewise, we can say these are zones, dedicated activity areas. Whichever activity task comes there, it's a responsibility of the operator who is managing the particular activity area. So 1 to 4 is managed by Bipin, 7 to 10 by me. So we have zone-based picking activity. So likewise, you can do a granular mapping of the activity area here. Section start, section end, stack start, stack end, level start, level end. Likewise, we can do a granular mapping in the case of one to many, one storage type, but we have more activity areas. And then finally, we can say all the possible options here. First, we normally give preference to the stack, and then bin subdivision if it is there, then level. Or if you want any form of sorting, it's okay. If you feel that you want to target the level first, it's up to you. Then the aisle ascending descending means inward aisle. Aisle ascending means inward aisle. Aisle descending means outward aisle. See, the stack numbers would be suggested in the ascending order, 1, 11, 21, like that. If he goes and takes a U-turn, then the stacks would be suggesting in the descending order, like 40, 38, 25, something like that. Are you guys following the aisle ascending, descending? No.
Yeah.
Sort
Yes,
stacking. Yeah, sort stacking as well. All the things we can do ultimately, if nothing is working as expected, then you can do a file upload. File upload means things are dynamically changing. You're changing the path. Today it's a U path, tomorrow S path, W path, whatever, frequently changing. Then it doesn't make sense to do the configuration. In that case, you can do the file upload. So ultimately, each bin carries a sort number for the combination of activity area and activity combination. So the same bin can have different sort number for pick-in activity and put away. For put away activity, it is number. For example, take this bin. Bin number 1, 2. Put away activity, it is having a sort number 2. For picking, it is having 21. Meaning, the put away path is different direction and picking path may be different direction. Yeah, something like that. So a given bin can be in multiple activity area and activity combinations, and it ultimately it holds a sort number for this combination now, and it would be used in the mobile device to avoid the back and forth movement. That's why I call it PPO, put away path optimization or pick path optimization. Any questions on the activity area understanding? Just feel free.
What is the use of ascending to decide why we are using ascending or descending activity area?
Ascending, descending, we said, right? This is a earmarked. This is like the receiving area and shipping areas all on the same side. This side only, not on the other side. So in this case, what happens? This aisle is the inward aisle. Inward aisle means it's earmarked. The direction is given. You're not expecting somebody coming from the other side. Even though there is a space and people can take a U-turn and come back. So this is the inward aisle, and this is the outward aisle. I and O, inward aisle and outward aisle. Here, the stacks would be suggested based on the ascending order. So we have the stack number 1 year, 2 year, 11 year to 13 year. So the stack numbers would be suggested ascending when he goes inward. When he takes a U-turn, the stack number would be suggested descending in the outward aisle. Following? There could be n number of paths, right? In a typical warehouse in the rack storage, it could be a U path. This is a U, right? If you just see the U direction path, U could be W. For example, the entry is here, but the exit is there. On the other side, the shipping gates or the packing workstations on the other side. So it could be a U pattern or a S pattern or a W pattern. Yeah. Following? Makes sense?
And what is the use of taking even and odds, even on the left side or odd on the right side?
Simple, right? Your courier, how is your door numbers are there on the street, right? All the even numbers on the left hand side, sorry, right hand side, and the odd numbers on the left hand side, right? In the street. Gagan, is it not like that, or in Delhi, Gugan? I just hello. It's like that only, right? On the street also, it's easy, right? To just say to distribute the couriers.
Okay, for even he will go to the right side, and the odd for he will go
on the left side.
Yeah. Okay.
So quant is clear. An activity area, at least very high level, we know the main usage of activity area. We can appreciate that the PPO, the postman or the courier man example, PPO, put away path optimization, a pick path optimization, especially when the pick-in operator is moving with the like this, like the lady moving with the trolley or the cart, and then assuming they have to navigate through multiple aisles, so providing him the proper path. And the bins would be suggested without any back and forth movements. So that's the main usage of activity area. Is this clear? First, we define the activity area, and then we can just do a granular mapping, like aisle start, aisle end. Normally, it will be like aisle number 1 to 4, or likewise it will be there. Even you can do section start also. And then the stack start, level start in. Yeah, it's very flexible, to map the activity areas. And you do all these gimmicks. If nothing is working, then you do the file upload. CLSP, cross-line stock put away. This is the plan or top view of the rack storage. Without CLSP, what happens? It's a one-sided loading. Assuming you're running 50% of the warehouse capacity, in that case, only few aisles are targeted. The same aisles are, of course, used for picking. The remaining portion of the warehouse is not used at all. So there's no point, especially when it's a pallet in and pallet out situation in racked storage. If you're using some 5 or 6 forklifts, the remaining forklifts or remaining resources are not used. The same resources are being used for put away and they are only bothered for picking. This is called one-sided loading. To avoid this one-sided loading, we do the proper sorting called CLSP. CLSP is again activity, but so far we know the activities will happen during task confirmation only. But this is the only activity which happens during task creation, during put away task creation. It will find the best location and ensure that the warehouse is uniformly distributed. The load is uniformly distributed within the warehouse, like a S pattern, like an anaconda snake, going through all the way from the front of the warehouse to the rear of the warehouse. You can imagine there is a uniform distribution of the workload in terms of put away. There's no one-sided loading, thanks to CLSP activity area. And the most important thing of CLSP is it happens during the task creation, not during task confirmation. The remaining activities, so whatever we talked about, the put away, pick in, PI, replenishments, all happens during task confirmation. Meaning in the mobile device, when you're confirming the task, the bins would be sorted and proposed as per the sort number, which is there in the bin master. I think with that activity area, I think I've explained quite extensively. I'm just pausing here for a few moments to take any inputs while I sip some water. Pick path optimization. That's what I was telling, right? Pick path optimization is when you're going for a picking, that the lady which I was showing, right? The path has to be optimized, meaning you have to give him a proper start and end points. So if she goes via this aisle and then she takes a U-turn and then comes back in other aisle, she'll be done with the complete picking of the WO. All the tasks in the WO.
I meant in system, do we need to configure something like that, or it's just the operational thing?
No, in system we need to have the WO, right? First of all, the WO is for activity area. You see, the WO creation rule, whereas the creation rule is for activity area, and we form a nice bundle. For example, there are 50 tasks in that bundle, and 50 tasks are there. It has to be proposed in the proper sequence. That's about it. All the tasks are there in the WO, and we have to tell the guide the operator as to which task should be coming first. If she is going like this, assuming there are multiple aisles here, she has to finish this aisle, and then maybe she'll take a U-turn and get into another aisle. You can imagine one more aisle is here, likewise, like here. So the bins would be suggested, because there are 50 tasks. Each task will carry the bin number. And so the bin will have the sort number, right? Just take a step back and see what's happening. There is a WO, warehouse order. The WO is based on the activity area, which is the main influencing factor for determining the WO creation, like a lion's territory, right? The lion's territory is there, and whichever buffalo or giraffe or whatever that comes within the lion's territory is a meal for lion. Similarly, aisle 1 to 4 is manned by Bipin, and aisle 7 to 10 is manned by me, right? Whichever task comes within that aisle 7 to 10, it's my job, it's my order, it's my responsibility. So within that, the task would be sorted and proposed to avoid any back and forth movements. That is called the pick path. Because makes sense now.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. So these are important ones. The storage type, the activity area. Section is okay, not that much important, but storage type and activity area are quite important. And HU we know, quant we know. At least you should know 2 usage of activity area, right? PPO, pick path optimization of put away path, CLSP, and also the WO creation rule, warehouse creation rule. Graphical warehouse layout, provided you do the XYZ mapping, then you can map your warehouse and then plot them in a nice reduced scale, and then see the travel distance and the bins which are empty bins and block bins. It just gives you an idea. But as I said, this is not a great thing. But the warehouse insights of BTP is making a lot of sense actually nowadays. So now coming to the next master data work center. But before that, let me just parallelly build my system. The exercise number 3 and 4. Sorry, we did until 3, exercise number 3. So I'm going to do the storage type and section, which is exercise number 4. And that's it, right? And 5, where are we having the 5? Exercise number 5. Okay, 5, 6, I lost it. Okay, the page is missing. Exercise number 4 is there. I think 5 and 6 is sheet is missing. Somewhere it will be coming now. I think the bin master only. Let's do 4, 5, 6 now, and then we go back to the 7, 8, 9. We'll take them in batches. So 7, 8, 9 is basically work center setup, and then the packaging specification. Okay, so 4, 5, 6 we will do storage type, section, and bin master. So I think I got the not at like today. It's at 10 o'clock. The remote desktop will be given. Once it is there, I will just share it with you guys. You guys have any luck in installing the GUI or no? Still no.
Oh, Rajan.
No. Okay, so exercise number 4. Before that, we need to understand what we are trying to do. Like so. So this is what we're going to do. This is our structure warehouse, okay, template warehouse. Each one of you, we have the Y930. Are you seeing the PPT slide number 1, warehouse structure?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Rashi. So here we have the 930, which is a door, and then Y910 is our inbound staging area, and the most important one is the rack storage, DRKG. This is what we're going to do new. The yellow ones are already there. The light green one is going to be created by us, or you guys going to create some storage types. Like for example, the main storage DRKG, rack storage, and then the inbound staging for small parts. SP means small parts, and LP is large parts. Bulk items are stored here, full bulk or partial bulk. What is the difference between full bulk and partial bulk? The bulk storage, remember, we were seeing the image for the refrigerated washing machine, which are kept on the floor area. That is a bulk storage. So we have the partial bulk and full bulk. Partial bulk means the odd man out. The partial pallet is kept in the same row. Somehow, they handle the partial. Less than pallet load will be taken from here. One pallet they keep as a partial. And once it is consumed, they will keep one more pallet and keep consuming from it. That's called partial bulk, full bulk. And this is a cotton pick phase. CPF is cotton pick phase. EPF is each pick phase. Only we do the each pick in. Here we do the case pick in. And here we do the pallet pick in mostly. Pallets are stored and yeah. And this is a very narrow aisle. So you can't reach the very narrow aisle directly. So it has to be via handover point. So we know the HOP or pick and drop zones, which are basically the things where we it's like a multi-step put away. First it has to move from 910 to the handover point or ID point Y001, and from there you have to move it to TVNA, very narrow aisle. Because the very narrow aisle is managed by the crane system, the forklift cannot go inside. The body is quite wide, and it's not meant for that. Because the level could be 10 levels high, forklift cannot do the business. We need a crane, so forklift gives the control to the crane, and it drops in the Y001, the cantilever. So if you look at what I'm talking about, the cantilever and stuff like that, actually, yeah. So see some images. Not sure whether I have it. Yeah, this is the cantilever I'm talking about. Can you imagine the forklift is dropping in the cantilever? There could be cantilevers on the both sides, and this is the crane. The orange color one is the crane. Crane is doing the put away. He grabs the pallet from here and then does the put away. These are free floating bins. These are called cantilevers. Are you guys with me?
Yes.
So this is what we are doing by the very narrow aisle. The forklift cannot go inside, so it has to go via Y001. Just giving a high-level picture, so that you get a feel of it. Now I'm going to create this rack storage TRKG, and it has two activity area, RKG1 and RKG2, on the left-hand side of the warehouse and then the right-hand side of the warehouse. And then it looks like this: the yellow zone, which is RKG1, and the blue zone, RKG2, and aisle 1 to 5 or RKG1, and aisle 6 to 10 or RKG2. And here, it's a very wide aisle. We can do the partitioning within the aisle, this aisle number 5 and 6. So this is of different bin type. The bin type is PAL2, large and wide bin type, PAL2. Here the bin type is PAL1 bin type. And so we're going to create 300 bins in total, 10 aisle number 1 all the way to 10 aisles, 6 stack. Each aisle has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stacks, and 5 level. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels. The level at the middle, right, at the aisle 5 and 6 are can accommodate tall pallets. Because there's some headroom available. The roof is like this, inclined roof. So here we have some headroom. So we are keeping the the partial pallets, the tall pallets and lightweight pallets on this level 5 and 6, especially level 6, I guess. You got an idea, right? What we are trying to do.
Raja, stack, I understood. What is level means? How we define level?
Level means you're boarding a 3-tier coach, right? You are at the lower berth or middle berth or top berth. That's level.
Okay, got it. And stack is a total number of heights, right? We can say.
Total number of aisles, no. Total number of aisles is like 1, 2, 3, all the way to 10.
It's a height. Height means it's a, if you told 3 berth in a coach, so 3 is a stack, right?
3 is a level, right? 1, 2, 3, level 1, level 2, level 3. Level 2, level 1 is a lower berth, level 2 is a middle berth, level 3.
Yeah.
Stacks are perpendicular, right? In a seat, right? For example, the long seat in the long berth, you guys are sitting, right? So there could be 3 or 4 person sitting. So each one is a stack.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Like the stack is like the flight example. You take the seat number is the stack number. The aisle is the one where the people can move, right? The air hostess to travel the aisle. And then the stack is the seat numbers. Of course, we don't have the level. Maybe in other some planes they have the level also, but yeah, normally we don't have the level. But in train we have the level, 3-tier coach and 2-tier coach. So that's a level. So here in this example we have 10 multiplied by 6, 60. 60 times 5 is the 300 bins. So we're going to do that. Just watch me what I'm doing. Keep in mind there are 2 activity areas: the yellow zone and the blue zone. And these are special aisles. SP, the gray color belonging to aisle 5 and 6 are special bins. Of bin type PAL2, the dimension is different from the regular bin, which is a PAL1. This bin type is PAL1 and the other bin types are PAL2. Any questions on this understanding? If you know these things, right, then the 30 scenarios will make sense to you what we are trying to do. Not now. I've just given a very high level. We will always, frequently we'll circle back to this slide and then refer what scenario we are doing. So, but at a high level, you got an understanding, right? T means storage type, the main storage type, and Y for all the staging areas and the work centers. And the green color ones are the one which we're going to add clinically. The remaining things are there. Maybe we will change here and there something. And this is the mezzanine. Mezzanine means we store the entire carton as it is. We don't do any distribution or partial put away. And very narrow aisle we talked about, the screenshot which I just now showed. This is very narrow aisle. Very narrow aisle. The forklift cannot go inside. Even if it goes inside also, there's no fun. It can go up to level 2 only. So we need a crane all the way to go to level 7 or level 10, whatever. And this is my very narrow aisle. And Y001 are the cantilever or the HOP. I call it HOP, handover points. And this is a full bulk and this is a partial bulk, right? The lost pallet received from production is a partial pallet. So that's why, we keep the odd man out. And also once it is consumed, we, keep one more pallet always. Somehow we manage in the same bin. That's called partial bulk. Here full bulk means only full pallets are stored here. And cotton pick phase.
Can you give some example for partial bulk? Some industry example, like what type of material we use in partial?
Chemicals, or the Mitsubishi example I gave, right? Each pallet is having 5 outdoor units. The durable goods, the bulky items, and the perishables. Those are the tips normally we store in the bulk storage. These are the things we showed, right? So in the bulk storage, normally you keep one above, you stack them, right? 2 stack or 3 stack high. So this is how you store them.
So there are
So
3
each
stacks.
row is a
So
bin.
you, yeah.
Each row is a bin.
So
Yeah,
you.
each row is.
So you
And somehow
take
you
one.
keep one partial, so the cotton which is for example, all your customer, like say, in this you have 3 units of air conditioner, one huge cotton. So if it's completely ordered, 3 units completely ordered, you take one full cotton. Some customers they ask 1 unit. So in that case, you keep aside, one cotton always, one partial cotton always. So whenever the requirement comes for 1 unit, 2 unit, you take it from there.
Okay.
And each row is a bin. Each row is a bin. Or there could be 2 things also in one bin. It's how you map them doesn't matter actually. These 2 rows could be one bin also. In the floor area, or there could be bin numbers hanging from the top. The nameplate number plate could be hanging from the ceiling. Ceiling height is not anyway huge, but still we effectively utilize the space, meaning the capacity is fully maintained. It looks you are keeping it in the floor area, but still we manage the capacity. So this is a good example for bulk storage. And partial means you're keeping the odd man out, the partial pallet also. One pallet normally we keep. If partials are taken from some other storage type, like a pig face here, only full pallets are taken from here. So this is normally used for the fridge and washing machine and the air cons, perishable items like milk and the bakery items. Makes sense?
Yeah.
Any other questions from anyone? Okay. So I'm going to do the exercise number 4, 5, 6 in a row. Let me see. I'm taking what number? Where was number 14, right? 14 or what? Don't remember, you guys? Why you have to remember my warehouse number?
14 was your say. That's right.
7 years.
7 I am using as readily available to show the scenarios, but 14 I am building parallelly, just to show you. Maybe I'll not use it till the last because at some point the exercises are quite complicated. We see like I'm trying to build as much as I can. Now I'm doing exercise number 4, SPRO, TRKG. I have to introduce the rack storage. So you see, just to read this paragraph, very important. The objective and business examples are important. And then you're going to create a new storage type called RKG. And here there's 2 sections, fast and slow. And HU is mandatory, handling units are mandatory. And also we're going to create 2 staging areas, Y911 and 921 for GR and GA, goods receipt and goods issue. This is for small parts receiving. 911 is for small parts receiving, and 921 is for expedite staging, emergency pick-in products. Okay? And we need to maintain some additional settings for staging area. And there are 2 work centers, one for deconsolidation and the other one for outbound expedite packing, Y831 for outbound packing, and Y811 for deconsolidation inbound. That's it. That's what we are going to do. We're going to do this in this exercise number 4, EWM master data storage type. First, let me check the warehouse number. Warehouse number E114. Yeah, T114. I don't have. Okay, I have the TRKG. No, I don't have the TRKG. So TRKG, ideally, if you select the TRKG, I delete this and go with the storage type. Storage type TRKG. So ideally, you shouldn't be seeing for 2, 3, 4, 5, and 8, 9, because these are allocated to you guys. So section I have to do the cleanup anyway. I'll do it, not to worry. But now what I'm going to do, it's just painful. Okay, this as many selections coming. So there are 2 ways actually. You can either copy it from the template warehouse EW07 or do it from the beginning. Up to you how you want to do it. I'm just copying it for demo purpose. E14. So here I'm saying my group number is 14 now, and HU is mandatory here. You see, HU requirement has to be mandatory, and what other things are important. So you see, storage section HU only mandatory. No other things. Just copy them from. So here HU requirement is mandatory, and this addition to stock and add to HU also. We will learn them as we progress, not a problem. Now the availability group is 002. This is the one converting from ROD to AFS, and so these are things you should know. Rack storage I am done. Then I'm going to copy the 911, 911 and 921. 911, 921. So I copy it from the template warehouse under EW07, Y911 and 921. So here, if you see the 911 staging area, the storage type role can be. No, I'm copying RKG. Sorry. Are you sure you want to cancel this? I need to deselect all of them. Do a fresh selection. EW07, Y911, and 921. Make a copy. And then you see D means staging area. D is staging area. Okay. And normally we don't maintain any capacity for staging area. So capacity check-in is turned off. And the put away rule is the general storage. It's a very high level I'm talking. Just observe these things. No need to worry about that now, but just grab as much as you can. So this is for goods issue staging and that one for GR staging. Okay, so two staging areas created, one for small parts receiving and the other one for outbound expedite area. The two staging areas then. Similarly, I copied the work centers, Y811 and Y8331. Okay, so EW07, Y811, deco station and 831. Okay, done. So totally 5 storage types I have created, So if you see the chart, so we did TRKG and then Y811 and Y831. 831 is not in the inbound, 831 is for outbound. So inbound, we have the deco work center and then the small part staging area, which is Y911. The regular one is Y910 and our small parts is taken in a special table and then we do the meticulous inspection and other things. So Y911. And then the outbound, if you see, we have the Y831. This is the expedite backend. This should also be in the green color. Yeah. Any questions on this understanding? And Y921, this is for expedite staging. The regular one is Y920, but our special one is Y921. Now I have to have one more block, but anyway. Are you guys clear on what we are trying to do? Seeing some Gagan, because Mayur, yeah.
So there is no difference between the normal interim that we used to do in WM and here the staging, right? I mean 911, even the nomenclature also keeps same. 911, 901, 921.
Correct. Only the role, that is important, the staging area role and the work center role. And some attributes, for example, normally we have a put away rule as general storage or consolidation group. And we turn off the capacity check-in. These are the important things you should know at the storage type level. These are unique or typical for that role what we have selected.
Rajan, could you please tell more about availability group and how it is related to AFS and ROD?
Anyone? Any other? Vipin wants to take this question. The two location funda. What is the significance of having two location?
It's clear about ROD and AFS, but how it is related to availability group?
So what do you know about ROD and AFS?
Basically, AFS is the storage location. It's pointing towards the material available for the sale, and basically this is differentiating the available material and unavailable material. ROD is something receipt on dock, which is you might send it for the quality inspection. Basically, it is not ready for the sale.
Right. Right. That's clear. That's clear to you. Then what is not clear is the availability group mapping.
Storage, yeah, you did mention the availability group.
You could see my slide number 17.
Yeah.
This is the one, right? We have posted the GR, but still it is not available because it's going through the mill. Mill means it could be quality or deco or whatever, right? So that's what I'm saying. Mill. It may take a day or 2 days or whatever, right? Still, you don't want to keep the stocks available. So in that case, what happens? The stock which are posted in the ROD storage location. I told you, storage location is not relevant in EWM. Plant is not applicable. Storage location is not applicable in EWM because this is a supply chain world. So we are more aligned with the APO. The APO is talking about the stock type or stock category only. So we are in alignment with the APO world or the planning world. So in EWM, when we say the stock type, right, F1, that means it's giving two qualification. One is the type of stock. We know F means unrestricted, B is block, and R means customer return, and Q is quality stock. Not only the type of stock, but also the storage location, meaning F1 means unrestricted stock in ROD location. F2 means unrestricted stock in AFS location. And thanks to the availability group, it is doing the mapping. It's an intermediate entity. We can't directly map the storage location to the stock type. It would be too complicated table. Availability group is just not to be confused with the availability check and other things at this point in time. Availability group is just a 3-digit code, same like your account category reference. It is helping to map the storage location flexibly to the different storage stock types. Make sense?
Yeah, thanks.
So this is the availability group, 001 is the availability group pointing to, ROD, and group number 2 is pointing to AFS. In the storage type, we maintain the availability group 2, and we tick the box mandatory. Thereby, automatically after put away task confirmation, there will be a posting change from ROD location to AFS location. So you see table 1, where the plant storage location is assigned to the availability group, and table 2, where the availability group in turn mapped to the global stock types or non-location specific stock type, whatever. So imagine if it's all maintained in one table, it would be too complicated one. That's why 2 table. And availability group, don't take it literally as it's part of availability check. No. Here the stock type is giving 2 dimension. It is more aligned with the APO stock category rather than the ECC storage location, because it's 2 in 1. It's not only the type of stock, but also it has a inbuilt storage location. So F1 has 2 dimension, stock type and also the storage location. Okay, these 2 slides should be good enough to understand the availability group and stock type mapping. So where are we? We did the storage types. I'm not sure whether we saved it or not. Okay, I think we saved it. 5 storage types done. Next thing is I'm going to create the sections. Okay, section. So I'm going to copy again from E07. Okay. So rack storage, there are 2 locations, fast and slow. And then 811 we have inbound and outbound for the deco work center, and for expedite packing we have 1 work section, a work center, whatever section. And then for Y911 and 912, Y911 and Y921, we have 1 total section 0001. So I'm going to make a copy and then copy it to 714. The section done. So TRKG having fast and slow section, and Y811 the deco work center having 2 bins, 2 sections basically, inbound section and outbound section, and 831 the staging areas, all the staging areas. Y831 is again a pack work center, expedite pack work center. It's having only 1 location. So here you could see, create the sections. The Y811 is having IN, BD, and OUTB, and all the other storage types are having only 0001, 1 section done. So the step number, whatever, it's completed. Section created. Next thing, what I'm doing, The screenshots are there for guiding you. And section I'm done. Staging area. We need to ensure that 911 and 921 are maintained as staging area. There's an additional configuration for staging area. So this is staging area and define the staging area. So I copy or maintain a new entry and I say EW14, my staging area Y911 and section is 0001. This is an inbound staging area and EW14 Y921 0001 is outbound staging area. And here I can say loading can start when the first pallet has arrived. I don't want to wait for the entire staging to complete. I can start the loading immediately after the first HU has arrived. So we'll appreciate the inbound and outbound staging. This is the last step. This is small exercise, like exercise number 4 is not a big deal. Any questions on completing the exercise number 4?
No, I think we're good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, then we'll do the E5, exercise number 5. Storage bin creation. This is a bit tricky. Pay attention now. This is a bit tricky. So I'm going to create a structure, So all my 60 bins are there, A to C. A to C, why A to C? A to C is like bin type is different. The topmost one, different bin type maybe. Yeah. Or slow movers. Let's see. A to C shall be assigned to fast section and D to E are slow movers. The one on the top, level number D and E are slow moving sections because I need a special equipment to climb and get the stock done. So that's why D and E are slow moving section. If it's a one-way aisle, meaning the other end we have the wall, the stacks could be the slow mover. But here, I can go and take a U-turn, not a problem. That's why my levels are the D and E levels are slow moving sections actually. Okay, so now I'm going to create a template. The template start value is 11. The end value is aisle 10, stack number 6, and increment 11, so that I get 60 times 3, 180 bins. And I have one more template for the level D and E, wherein I have the remaining 120 bins created. So 180 plus 120, we have 300 bins. And keep in mind, I'm not bothered about the bin type now. And section I'm interested, these are fast moving section. 180 bins are fast moving section, and the remaining bins at the top rows are slow moving section. The bins on level D and E, topmost levels are slow moving sections. Okay, now we will do that. So first I have to go to the bin folder and then check the identifier. So in my warehouse, I have the A for aisle, S for stack, L level, B subdivision, and D depth. It's okay, ISLABAD is there, ASL, BD. Okay. I'm not changing the identifier. Then I go to the structure. Then I go to EW14 and I don't have TRKG. I don't have TRKG. So I just copy it from anything that doesn't matter. I just copy it. And then here I say dash, right? So I prefix it with TRKG dash 0110 A. And then the end value is TRKG aisle 10 stack 6 and then A to C level. Okay, now I have to indent this. I move this. And I also need to indent this. And only level is 1 digit. And then the increment is also 1. Increment is 1. And if you want, you can give a start value 50 meters from the bottom left. And y-axis, it is 115 meters. Increment, you can give 2 meters. Y increment 2 meters. 1 and 1. Okay. And here I have to say Z, not a problem, always it is a level, not a problem. But X and Y could be, anyways. So X I am saying I'll, and Y I am saying stack. That's it. And if you want, I can just say this is important, the RKG. Even if you give an incorrect section, we can correct it later, not a problem. But here I'm giving the exact section, fast moving section, and bin type I'm just giving PAL1 temporarily, and I remove the weight and other things, not a problem. And group also I removed it. Structure contains duplicate. Why duplicate? Yeah, this should be C. Wherever we see the increment, it should be numeric, and then the remaining things are C. Let me clear all this and then say. And then this is a numeric, and then C numeric. Type it C. Start value does not fit the template levels. I'll stack level. I'll stack level. Then 6C. Why start value not fitting the? Is it okay? All okay? Looking okay as per this? Structure contains duplicate entries. God no. Just copy this. Should only cancel, yes. Not sure whether EW14 already we have the rack storage. EW14. We don't have, right? TRKG. It's not there. Create a new entry. EW14. Then the template I see Control V. It's not coming. Okay. Start value not fitting the template. Duplicate entries. Selection by contents. Storage type. I don't have it for 14. So just copy it from here. This should be A. Okay. New entries. EW14. TRKG. section fast. Okay, I just copy another one, EW14. Just copy this and say this time it's like D and E. Okay, this is a slow moving one. Sorry, I just deselect all. Now I can copy it from EW14 only. EW14. The last number in the sequence, yeah. So here I can just give first, and this is incorrect, right? It should be sorry, bin type, right? Bin type I don't give. If you want, you can give just give PAL1, not a problem. Now I made a mistake here. It should be A to C. Okay, and then I make a copy. And then I make a copy. Sequence number 15. So very weird. I make a copy, and then I say this time D to E. Okay, and then I say slow. So then 2 records created, 180 plus 120 pins, fast 180 and slow 120. If you look at the thing here, what I'm saying, these are all fast movers. You know, the green color ones are fast movers. The one on the top are slow movers. Yeah? The orange color and the yellow color are the. Any questions till now? 10:30. Hello, you guys are following?
Yeah. So this is only for the greenfield warehouse kind of thing, right? But if it already exists and you're migrating that, then you have to use the external structure, which is more part of the cutover, right? I mean, you don't have to do this in that case.
Yeah, if it's existing also, you see if it's aligning to the SAP standard, right? It's just a one-time effort. It's worth it actually. You know, sometimes the existing one could be episode actually. You know, the aisle may be there, bin subdivision, then stack may be there, then level. It's better to educate. You know, take the standard one, which is the ASLBD. If client is saying no, it's too much of a task, then you directly upload the Excel file. You know, as per the existing one.
Okay.
But if the client they're willing for the relabeling and willing to look at the SAP structure of aisle stack level bin subdivision, then it's a good improvement. Yeah, you can just use the template. Only if the rack is having the uniformity. If you have some racks, like 20 stack, some other rack 15, again 20, 25, it's based on the zigzag pattern. Then there is no point in using this structure. You'll go really crazy. But still, you can introduce more sequence number. But if it's more chaotic, then better to upload an Excel file.
Yeah.
If it's organized, following a pattern or adapting or aligning to a pattern, then it makes sense to go with the structure. Structure, basically it's structured. Now let's create the bins. I go to LS10 transaction. I'll show it in the index screen. So this is the index screen. Close the favorites, and afterwards, I will do it everything. EWM master data, bin master, then create the bins. LS10 generate the bins. So here for my warehouse table view, EW14. So I have this last two TRKG. So I select both of them and then click the lens, and I say create bins. So here I have 180 bins. The fast movers A to C. Yes, to want to create the bins. Yes. So 180 bins created. Keep moving to the next row and press the button create bin. 120 bins create. Done. So 180, 120 done. Fast and slow section. Now the next thing is what I have to do. Some of the bins you need to create individually. For example, the special inbound for Y9. It's not a big deal. You can try. LS11, sorry, LS01, and SPINBS. So this is for Y911, and you know the staging section also 0001. So this one bin created. Similarly, I create another bin for the expedite staging. So EXP STG, and this is for Y83. Sorry, Y831. No, not Y831. This is for 921 staging area. 921. 921. Yeah, done. So 0001. The two bins I showed you how to create, and additional bins, you know, you can do it by doing the file upload also. You know, file upload, download, we can try, you know, if you want to do that. You know how to do that, file upload, download? You want me to show? Hello?
I think that should be pretty simple. There will be some template here.
Simple, right? You don't want to see.
Oh,
If it is ready, you can go ahead. I mean,
Rashi, you are saying something?
yeah, I mean, it's better if you show one because
Okay. So you just go to the upload, you know, the interface, then data upload, then the bin upload, you know. This is the one for bin upload, this is one for sorting upload, and this is the initial stock upload, right? This is a, sorry, this is the initial stock upload, this is a back specs upload. Yeah? So load bins. So here we can download the file, I think by clicking here, spreadsheet. So here you can just save it. I'm just saving it in the desktop only. I'm saying this is a PCS bin upload. Okay, so it's downloaded the file. So I just say my warehouse number is EW14. EW14, yeah. And a bin, I'm just going to create few bins. I just show some example. Expedite packing, EXP pack, and you know, deco 1 inbound, deco 1 INB, and deco 2 outbound bin. Deco 2 outbound bin, okay, for EW14. So 3 bins I'm going to show you. For storage type Y831, 831, and section is 0001. Here Y811, sorry, Y811, and the section is INBD and OUTBD. INBD and OUTB. And so 3 rows you maintain OUTB, and this one is Y811 also. You save the file as a Excel also, and then you know, like you save it as a CSV file. Okay, now I go to the upload program, and then I upload it from the desktop. What happened? CSV file is the one, right? Okay. Upload. You could see 3 bins I am doing it. And then I press the button create. 3 bins created. Pull in.
yeah, Raju.
So you know how to create a bin, ad hoc bins using LS01 and also the template and file upload. You know, as rightly asked by Bipin, if it is not following a structure and you know the client is quite hesitant in changing the bin nomenclature or the sequence, you know, they are happy with bin subdivision coming in before the level or whatever, then it's okay. You know, you can continue with that as long as you tag the value. That is important. You know, which is aisle, which is stack. It's all in the nomenclature, right? So that's why we use this ASL. This is important. A means this is aisle. S means this is stack. L means this is level. Yeah. This is important. It's called a qualifier or identifier or whatever. So let's take a break and then we will come back. This exercise I think done. So we have 180 and 120, 300 bins in total, and also we created some ad hoc bins. And also, I showed you the file upload. And finally, you have to check your bins. All in all, you should have these many bins. Just in case if they are not there, do the file upload, and ensure your warehouse is good. Otherwise, when the scenario comes, you can create the bins, not a problem. For example, if you're doing the two-step picking and it so happened that the bin is not there, then you can, understand that, okay, the bin, you can create them, not a problem. The other approach is, you can create them beforehand if they are not there, just in case. So these many bins have to be there in total. That's about the exercise number 5. Exercise number 6 is more interesting, the activity area. So we did the bin creation. I showed you the template and also I showed the individual bin creation. Also the file upload, right? Excel file upload. There's one more way. I'm not that confident, but just keep in mind in the monitor method also, you should be able to create the bins. It's a bit tricky. You need some experience on that. For example, you go to the bin, bin, and then for TRKG. So you can just copy these many bins, for example. I'm just giving an example only. And then you can just copy the bins and create and change the prefix or something. We need some, select an entry to copy storage. Only one entry, okay. It's basically helping as a template or something. So copy the X, Y, and Z coordinate, copy the aisle stack and level to the new bins. So if you make any new bin creation, you can just copy these attributes from one master bin, So from that bin, you can just copy all the XYZ coordinates and also the aisle stack level. If you look at the bin master, I told you the XYZ coordinates is the optional one, the phase 2. But this is important, which is aisle, where is the ASL? It's stored, not shown here. It's coming from the template, this is a aisle, this is stack, and this is a level. It's stored somewhere in the bin master. So that is important, So either you can change the XYZ and also the aisle stack level tagging, right, to the structure we can copy. So this is what you can do from the monitor method in the copy. I think with that, I am done with the bin master. That's all we have for the bin master. So all that you should know about the bin is like, we know bin is a grouping of, bin is the smallest spatial unit. And yeah, normally it's represented by aisle stack level. In EWM, there are additional qualifiers like bin subdivision and bin depth. And also we know about the U pattern, the W pattern, and the S pattern or whatever. And accordingly, the aisle would be inward aisle or outward aisle. And some of the important attributes in the bin master are storage type and bin access type, and section is a plug and play. All the other things also plug and play except storage type. You can't change the storage type, you have to delete and recreate the bin. But otherwise, the remaining attributes are plug and play, meaning you can go to LS11 and then do that. With regards to the bin blocking, you can go to the monitor and then do the bin blocking and unblocking. And we know the bin has several tabs. And also the bin, there are several ways of maintaining the bin and also, the monitor method to update the bin attributes. HU, quant structures, and activity area. Now this is activity area. I'm going to do the exercise number 6 now. So as I said, I am going to create two activity areas, RKG1 and RKG2, the yellow zone and the blue zone. And aisle number 1 to 5 are part of RKG1, and aisle number 6 to 10 are part of activity area. See, aisle number 1 to 5 and 6 to 10. Following? Any questions, guys? So 1 to 5 is aisle 1, so RKG1. Aisle 6 to 10 is RKG2. And then here we say aisle 1 to 4 is a standard aisle, which is default. We are using this field, bin section, not to be confused with storage section. So this is an additional attribute in the bin master. And this field, I am using it for smartly for saying that this is a default aisle, default bins. Like default means the standard PAL1 bin type, the white color one. And the SP is a special one. So, like create those many activity areas. And for put away, the activity, I'm going to sort the sequence based on whatever, I'm just giving it here. Stack first, then level, and then bin subdivision. First stack, then level, then bin subdivision. If you want stack, anyway, we don't have the bin subdivision, so nothing to worry. And also I have one activity area called AARK for picking purpose. So for put away, we have RKG1 and RKG2. And for picking, we have AARK. So let's do it. So first we have to define the activity area. EWM, master data, define activity areas. As usual, right, I'm just making a copy. You can just do it smartly, whatever way. EW07, template values, TRK, RKG1, and RKG2. And also AARK. I'm just copying one more. It's not there. I'll copy it from here. Okay. So I say EW14. First, just a definition. So 3 activity areas, RKG1 and 2 for put away, and AARK for picking. And the next step is the important one. Assign bins. So here I just select by contents and values number.
Why we took 2 for put away and 1 for picking, not 1.
Who's it? Vipin.
Gagan.
So it's just see the structure is important for put away. Anything that goes to RKG1, it will be routed via Deco Work Center 1. Anything that's going to RKG2, the combinations, like it will be routed via Deco Work Center 2. That's why we have 2 activity area for deconsolidation, which is an inbound scenario. But for outbound, anywhere I am picking from TRKG, okay, outbound, it has to be coming via regular work center if it is not an urgent item. Okay, if it is a expedite item, then it has to be routed via Y8. Sorry, where is it? Yeah, expedite packing, correct. Understood? So that's why we have only 1 for activity area for outbound and 2 for. If you want, you can just do some scenarios. It's just my scenario. I don't care about the outbound because anything you pick from within the aisle 1 to 10. All if it's an emergency item, it would be routed via expedite packing work center. If it's a regular item, it will be coming via generic packing work center or general packing work center. Okay. Clear or not clear? So the activity area, where is the activity area? Okay, so you see aisle number 1 to 4 and aisle 5 is a special aisle. You know why I have two records? Because I'm just keeping this is a default aisle and this is a special aisle. You have to see this diagram only, to have a better understanding frequently. So the white zone, the gray zone, these are the white zone, the 1 to 4, and the fifth one is the gray zone, all in the same activity area, RKG1. So I'm going to make a copy of this and do it for my warehouse EW14. And I don't want this number. I'll explain this number a little later. So as of now, the aisle 5 is a special aisle. That's it, SP. Okay, done. Similarly, I do one more, RKG2. I can copy it from the template only. Why there are 3? Aisle 6 repeated. Okay. Anyway, 7 to 10 is default 1, and I remove this. Now, done. Selection by content. So EW14, RKG2, append, show another activity area also. Or it's not coming correctly. Selection by contents, EW14, and activity area could be RKG2 or RKG1. Show me that. Okay, anyways, so I'll just go with the regular positioning only, just to verify them. Bin and position, EW14 or KG1. Yeah, it's there. Aisle number 1 to 4, and these are default ones. If you want, you can just pull this to the front. Default. And aisle 5 is a special aisle. Similarly, aisle 6 is a special aisle, and then 7 to 10 is RKG2. Okay, now I can just copy the AARK, or I just create one more, called EW14 activity area racking and storage type D RKG. This will be used for picking purpose. So that's it. Now is go back and okay, done. Now sort sequence. So these are put away. Okay, why 2 are there? Because aisle 1 to 4. Right, that's why the sequence, whatever we did in the previous configuration is important. The same sequence you have to carry here. So, okay, understood? We have 2 sequences, right? Aisle 1 to 4 and then aisle number 5. Similarly, aisle number 6 to 10 and aisle number 7. That's why we have 4 sequences. I just copy them. Here we are saying stack level, bin subdivision, whatever you want, you can try, not a problem. And then this is where we are saying the aisle is an inward aisle or outward aisle, ascending or descending. Similarly, stack, ascending, descending. Direction of the stack, the even numbers and the odd numbers. alternating and non-alternating. Okay, there are a lot of controls here. You can just play and keep sorting them and then try to understand this. Whatever we teach you, it will not be there. Just you have to play, dirty your hands, and then see the sort number to gain a grip on these things actually. Yeah, understood. So I'm just going to copy this and do it for my warehouse EW14. Done. Okay. Cool. Now let me pull the consolidation group also, but I'll explain the consolidation group little later, not to worry now. Any idea? Anyone has any idea on the consolidation group? The deconsolidation group rather, for outbound it's called consolidation group, and for inbound it's called the deconsolidation group or deco group. Anyone knows about that? Any EWM? No. Okay. Full deco group. Okay, just keep moving.
Rajat, for the first one, that bin sequencing part, will it work also for the external bin numbering?
Which one?
The one that we talked before, the bin sequencing, bin sorting. Will that work for will that work for the external bin numbering also? Because I think that calls for specific bin nomenclature, right? Like we did the mass creation of the bins. Will it work with the external number range also? External number of bins also?
Meaning you are not giving any template. I'll stack level is not there.
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, you're saying the sort number, right?
Yes.
Sort number, then you can do a file upload in that case. But if external number is there and still you're tagging any IL stack level, right? Then it will look at the configuration. No, you have to maintain the config, right? So config, if it is not there, then you can do the file Excel file upload. That will always override. Like we did the bin upload. Similarly, we can upload the sort.
No, but both bin upload and file upload is by the systematic, the in sequence number. But I'm saying that if there are external numbers, pre-existed numbers that we have to take, in that case, will that bin sorting work?
Let's take an example. So, okay, change the range request. What is this weird messages? Okay. Change the range request or sort of bins. Okay, I'll do it. No worries. Why you're bothering me now? Okay, I'm done. So what you're saying, let's take a step back. Now, so external number means, let's be clear. So you're saying LS01, the bin, right? What test bin?
Yeah.
Test bin 1, okay. DRKG, right? So here, test bin 2, 2 bins I am having, right? So now this is not having any nomenclature, right? What is expected? What do you want? These 2 bins is there in rack storage. So you want to have a sequence number for this as well. So you load the sequence number using the Excel file. Like for example, bin 1 is sequence number 1, bin 2 is sequence number 2. When you're loading the bin sorting, this file you can download and upload them for the activity area and activity combination.
Okay, it has sequence number. By that it will sort.
It has a sequence number. By that it will sort.
Okay. Sorry, I missed that. Thanks.
No. Eventually the bin will have a sort number. Whether you do it as per the template, the IL stack level, or you can directly, assign a sort number in the Excel file. Another approach is also there. For example, if you create a bin, right, you don't have any template, you don't have any template, but still, you're going and doing like this. For example, I'm just giving some test. Okay, 0, 1, 0, 1, very random bins only. So 0, 1. We're having some like one more 0, 1. So fine. So here I have one bin like this in TRKG. Okay, and I have another bin also for the same aisle. Okay, at level 2. Okay, I have these 2 bins created, right? Okay, either you can go to this LS11 transaction, SEWM LS11, and show me the bins with the test as the prefix. Okay, here I can just select this bin, and I can only do the bin aisle. Aisle is 0, 1, stack is 0, 1, level is 0, 1. Just you. That way I am marrying this. Just it's quite dicey, but still you could assume like this way you can marry, and then we can just say this is the aisle, this is stack, this is a level, something like that.
Understood.
Or we can do it in the monitor method also. We just need to have some hands-on actually. Even though I'm conceptually I'm saying something, maybe not 100% accurate. What I'm saying, but we need to practice only. So it's all. I'm just saying with gut feel only. There are n number of ways. Ultimately, we have to tell the power system this is a aisle, this is stack, this is a level. If not, that blindly we can upload any number. Regardless of we don't care about the aisle, stack, level. So all that we want is just a bunch of bin belonging to a sequence 1. And then a bunch of bins is belonging to sequence 2. We don't get into a bin level also. We form a group, for example, in cluster of 20 bins or 30 bins can carry the same number also. Within that cluster, it's okay. All of them carrying the same sort number, it's okay, not a problem. You got it right. We don't want to go at the bin level sort number also. It's okay. So there are n number of ways, to indicate. Now I have the number. I'll come to that little later. Don't worry about the deco group now. Okay. Now I'm done. So this is the tricky one. So if you follow the exercise manual, so we did the step number 1 and step number 2. We did the same thing. RKG 1 and 2, 4 rows, and then a sort sequence. We did something, stack or level or doesn't matter. You can try basically, all these combinations you can try, and finally, update the bin master. So before sorting the bins, we need to update the bin master, because the activity area, default aisle and special aisle are coming from the activity area. So whenever you make any configuration changes, which is called a structural change, you need to update the bin master using LS11. So I go to the LS11 and then I just say TRKG. And if I want, I can give the 5 to 6 aisle. Likewise, this is ugly. There's a better way of doing that actually. So my main idea is for 5 and 6 aisle, I'm going to say special SP. The bin section, I have to say SP. This is what I did in the configuration. It is not part of the template, so I have to do the the mask change. You understood, right? The bin section is not part of the template, whereas this is part of the activity area setting. So that's why I have to do the LS11. So if I go to the bin template, you will never see the bin section, storage bin. If I go to the template, let me take my template, EW14, RKG1, the last one. So if we don't have the bin section, there's no attribute called bin section. It is part of activity area. So the activity area is feeding that attribute, That's why we need to update the bin master. So what I'm going to do here, I select my rack storage, TRKG, and I open the dynamic selection. And here I can select the aisle number 5 to 6. So aisle number 5 to 6. I don't know. This is always, I have to save or I have to apply. God only knows why they are given 2 buttons. Anyway, I saved it now. So aisle number 5 and 6 are there coming. You see, all the bins from aisle number 5 and 6 are there. I select them So always refer to that PPT slide, the 2 slide. Where is it? Somewhere. I will drag and drop it here. Documents, SG training. Yeah, I'll copy this. Org elements, structure. Yeah, Control C. Then I copy it in ZaranTech folder. Okay, so here we go. This year now. This is quite important. Without knowing this, you can't appreciate the exercise. Yeah. So RKG1 is aisle 1 to 5. These are we have 1 to 4 as a default aisle, the white zone, and then the gray zone, which is special aisle SP. Similarly, aisle 6 and all the way to 10. Again, aisle 6 is a special aisle. The remaining aisles are normal aisle. That's about it. And then we will talk about the DCG. It's not a CG. CG means in the outbound context. DCG means deconsolidation group in the inbound. I should never say CG. I should say DCG only. Deconsolidation group. I'll explain little later. Okay, totally we have 300 bins, and we know, right? 180 are fast moving and 120 are slow moving. The level A, B, C are fast moving, and D and E are slow moving. Simple. Because stack we don't consider. We can take a U-turn and then come back. Not a problem. Had it been one-way aisle, meaning not one-way aisle, the other end is a wall, and you can't take a U-turn. In that case, the stack number, maybe the last 4 stack may be slow mover. Okay, so you got an idea what we are doing now. The next one is I'm going to do the structural change to reflect the the default and special aisle. So where we are in the mass change of the bin master, I select all of them, and then I assign the special aisle. Sorry, default aisle. Sorry, 5 and 6 are special aisle. So I say bin section is SP, and I can just say PAL type also, PAL2. And is it clear to you guys? Nothing great. I'm just saying aisle 5 and 6 are special aisle, and then the pallet 2 bin type is PAL2. That's it. Pallet 2 bin type. Okay, save it. 60 bins are changed, and then I get the remaining 240. So in that case, I can just say better you open the dynamic selection, and this time I'll 0, 1 to 4. I don't know how to give multiple selections, 0, 1 to 4, and then 7 to 10. Is there a way to do it? Let's not waste time. Okay, let's just do it. So aisle number 1 to 4 is a default one, and the bin type is PAL1. Regardless of whatever coming from the configuration, I'm saying these are PAL1 bin type. That's it. Okay, save it. Okay, 120 bins. So 120 plus 60, 180 gone. Now one more 120 is there. That is like aisle number 7 to 10. Aisle number 7 to 10. Apply 7 to 10. All right, select them and then say these are again default ones, and these are PAL1. All right, so I'm done. 120 plus 120 plus 60, totally 300 bins are there. Okay, any questions on this? Follow them. You should be able to do it. And finally, I have to do the sorting. The sorting, there's a program. So you know how to upload the sort. Otherwise, if you are using the configuration, then this is the one. SBST. Where is SBST? This is the one. If you're using the configuration, then you can use this report. But if you're doing the file upload, nothing required. Directly it's stored in the bin master. But if you are not using file upload, then in that case, you need to run this report. It will look at the configuration and according to your configuration, like this is the configuration, right? Stack first or level first, all that you're saying it here, right? Activity area. So here we are saying, right, stack first, level first, subdivision, whether inward aisle or outward aisle, all that, alternating, non-alternating. So based on this configuration, it will do the sorting. For example, RKG1 if I take, okay, and then only for put away. Anyway, RKG1 is only put away activity. You see, it's giving preference to level, A, and then it's giving preference to B, and then only it's going to the stack, after completing all the levels, then it is giving preference to the stack. Following? So this is the number that gets stored in the bin master.
Yeah, understood.
Understood, right? Okay. So if you want to give preference to stack, compared to the level, then you have to flip the switch here, So for example, EW14, activity area number RKG1, and then here I say for put away, I give preference to stack, first stack. We are given preference to stack only, still why stack is not taken? Stack is taken 1, 2. No, I'm confused now. We have stacks all the way to 6, right? 6 stacks are there. It should go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, not a level. Then again changing it to 1, 2. Then only 3, 4 are coming, right? Why? Even though we say stack level or bin subdivision. This is incorrect, right? Sort sequence level, not level. So if I say level, what happens? Level followed by stack. Now it's giving to level A, B, C, D, E, and then only it's moving to stack. This is very clear to me. Okay, we have to see the subtle difference, we have to play, where you just keep changing and then playing. All right, so you got an idea, right? I'm just explaining conceptually only, but we have to, try to get a control on this, a grip on this.
Yeah.
I told you, right? If nothing is working, and if the customer is saying I want to change it, and I don't want a individual bin level, it's okay. I can say like stack number 1 to 10, I want a single sort sequence. Then you better do your file uploader. Okay. So now I am just doing RKG2. Okay, 1 by 1 to go inside and execute them, and then I'm not sure whether I did it for ARK. Maybe I left it abruptly. So it's not maintained. Okay, leave it. We will do it later when we are doing the picking scenario. I will anyway, be remembered. So there is one more activity area for picking purpose. So if you go to the bin master, you'll see the bin is sorted for. Go to the bin master. From the monitor, you can just go to the bin master, TRKG. So you see the bin master. Yeah, the activity areas. Oh, these are not sorted. Not test bins are not sorted. Let me delete the bins. All the test bins, I can delete them. I can't do the deletion from here. I have to do it in LS 11 transaction only. Okay, so let's do it later. But you can block the bins. From here in the monitor method, you can block specifically for put away or removal or total block. So you can block the bin for put away and removal both. I'm not sure whether blocked bins can be deleted. I think block bins can be deleted. Only thing is it has to be empty. Oh, and not block bins also. Okay. Empty bins and not block bins. Okay, I unblock it. So unblock it. And then I select them. Okay, it's still carrying the traces. Okay, I just go back and then come in again. Okay, so these bins are deleted. And then if I just refresh it, they are gone. Those are gone. Now we go to the proper one. And then, yeah, we have the activity areas. See, it's part of the put away RKG1 activity area. Understood? And sort number is not shown here. Ideally, if it shows the sort number, that would be good. I don't know why SAP is reluctant to show the sort number. Sort number you have to see in the table only, or maybe in the monitor method. The new monitor method, you can see the sort number also. But I'm not sure. My system is like 2020 feature pack 1. Maybe in recent release 2022, you can see the sort number also. Nobody is going to query the table and do that. So sort number would be handy. I don't know from where you can see, but somewhere I have this. All right. Any questions on the exercise number 6? So you should be able to do this, right? All the way from 2 to 6. Not a big deal. You can I think stay still. Yeah, any questions, guys?
I think this goes. I mean, unless we do some hands-on, we will not know the nitty-gritties of that. But conceptually, it is clear.
Conceptually only I'm asking.
Yeah.
All right, conceptually clear, right? Now let's keep moving. The theory part, just bundle them. I keep moving. As I said, till 11, exercise number 11. If you're done, then you can practice in your own warehouse. It gives you more confidence, and so things are working means you know what you're doing. So better to complete somehow from 2 to 11. By worst case, what is today, Monday, right? So if you're doing it before Wednesday, it'll be good actually. From tomorrow onwards, I will start hopefully the scenarios. So these are clear, right? Today morning we talked about many things. The quant activity area, most important one. Most important usage of activity area is PPO and CLSP. Like people taken a 5 BHK apartment and all of them are using a single restroom or single sit out. That's a kind of CLSP, one-sided loading. GWL, you could appreciate the XYZ coordinates in a graph. And as I said, this is not a great thing, but the good one is Warehouse Insights. It has a real-time update with the backend SAP system. And now I'm moving to the next master data, the work center. The work center has 2 dimensions. One is the configuration aspect and also the master data aspect. So yeah, work center is nothing but a table, people doing some activities. What are the activities? Deco, VAS, quality inspection, and counting, packing. Outbound packing and inbound packing, just to differentiate the 2 packing. So the work centers are used in inbound and outbound, but work centers anyway, outbound, but the deco and quality are not supported. Deco and quality are not supported. So anyway, outbound, when we say work center, it is mostly value-added services or packing. And the typical configuration requirement for work center, it's easy to remember: 4x4, 4-wheel drive. So 4 means the put away rule. Normally we use general storage. 4 is a general storage, and 4 means capacity check is turned off. We don't track the capacity here in the work center. So as I said, work center, normally we have a table with a desktop computer and a weighing scale, and also a label printer. So to capture the weight and to close the HU and print the label. And it could be inbound or outbound packing, whatever. Yeah. So this is the work center configuration. So you see here, we marry the storage type to the work center. So I have 2 work center, Deco 1 and Deco 2. and we marry the storage types and the section as well. And then the WPT is used for packing and repacking activities. And this is the traditional screen. It is controlled by the layout. The layout is assigned in the previous configuration. So here we have the tree structure, and then the top right we have the scanning area where people scan the EA and the UPC, basically the barcodes, of the product and the HU and the bin, all that barcode just keep scanning. And on the bottom left we have, bottom right we have the detailed area. Okay, and then there is one more index screen here, wherein we marry the terminal name, the computer name, and also the default packaging material, the packaging material which is widely used, and the scale interface, and also the weight tolerance. So these are the basic data we maintain, and this is applicable for the backend screen. The layout, what we gave here, the DKMX, it shows you what operation you are performing, and SAP has given 4 transactions. As I said, there is no trespassing. One for deco, one for quality, and the other one for packing, and the 4th one for value-added services. We have 4 different transaction codes, so we are super clear, which transaction we have to call for which activity. So don't get.
But the work center is same. I mean, I was about to ask that question. All these 4 processes, and within VAS also there will be different VAS terminals like labeling, then sticking, and a lot of other things. So will the work center be same, or there'll be multiple work centers for VAS?
Multiple work centers will be there. Yeah.
Okay.
One oiling station, one packing
understood.
station, one cleaning station. Yeah, multiple stations. The work center modeling is, up to your imagination only. Even I am not fully, utilize the SAP functionality, but just to give a gist of it, like your staging area, you can play with the 3 elements. At the end of the day, we told you, right? We have only 3 elements: storage type, section, and bin. Right? Same for staging area. Similar approaches here in work center also. For example, the work center 1. This is the deco example. You get an assortment HU or mixed HU, triangle, square, and whatever shape, the rhombus, all are there. And this is a going through the mill, work in progress, not yet deconsolidated. But this is after completion. We separated them correctly, all the shape wise. There is deconsolidation basically. And here you see work center 1. It is just only one section. We don't know which is the dropped one and which is the work in progress and which is the completed one. We don't know. But at least work center 2, we have some visibility. This is the in progress one, and this is the completed one. And here it's a more granular. We have the inbound section, then the outbound, then the finished one. So we can model this with using the section. The yellow one is the section. Why do we need to have a common section? Because the operator who is doing the staging activity from the GR area to the work center, he can decide whichever bin. The system will tell him to drop in the yellow zone. Yellow zone, there are 3 work center: work center 1, work center 2, work center 3. So he can drop it in any work center. For example, the pick-in operator, right? He can drop it in any pack work center. All that he needs to know is just a section only. Assuming there are 10 work center in one section, another 10 work center in another section. So you just need to know where he has to drop it. Within the 10, he can take any section. You can go to normally we do, right? In the supermarket, we stand in the queue, and then if that, the operator is not fast enough, then we will jump and stand in another queue. So likewise, the pick-in operator, he can decide where to dock based on the work center operators, busyness or relatively free. If he is free, then the pick-in operator, if he is empowered, he can drop the item in a particular work center. He is empowered basically. Understood? In that way, the section will help him and guide him to a particular group of work centers, rather than leaving him high and dry. I don't know whether I explained, but this is a big topic. At least you try to understand conceptually. With this, we can do many things, using these 3 elements. This is the most detailed level. We have 3 bins: one inbound bin, one work in progress, one completed one. This is a 2 bin. Here we have only 1 bin. Understood?
So work center also can be common for multiple activities. If it is not very complex, the same work center can cater to VAS and packing also, right? All together. So do we still need multiple work center logically in that case, or can we just run with one work center?
The bin can be different, but the work center we need to see. For example, when we create a work center, we are seeing a layout, and the layout there is no trespassing, meaning the layout will carry the transaction type. So let me just do it so you'll appreciate. I go to the exercise number 7 now, work center. I'm doing the first cut only, so I'm going to see. Let me open the exercise number 7. Maintain work center for packing. So here we have 2 work centers for Deco 1, Deco 2, and then one for expedite packing. Only 3 work centers are there. XPWC for expedite packing, and 2 work centers, Deco 1 and Deco 2 for the yellow zone and the blue zone. Okay, here I have 2 sections, INBD and OUTB. Whereas for the outbound, I don't care. I have only 1 section, so I put in the common section 0001, both for inbound and outbound. Let's do it. Here I am taking the layout VPMX for outbound packing, and here I am taking DKMX for Deco. Okay, so the most important one is the layout. So the work center layout. So if you see the DKMX, EW14, DKMX, Deco, DKMX. Okay, it's not there. Let me just copy it from EW07, DKMX. DKMX only, right? Yeah, people are getting it. So let's just, if the EW07 is not the template, then the master warehouse is EW00. You can copy it from there also, not from 07, you can copy it from 00. So now DKM, this is important, SAP clearly given the transaction type. So these are the programming controls, based on which the POSC settings are maintained. So when you're selecting the layout, you have to be super clear. But the deco, there is no combination thing. You can't do it, a single work center. You can't repeat this is a master key. So now I'm going to select a deconsolidation only. It's already there, deco. And here we are saying what are the tabs. For example, deco means the functionality should be activated. Quality inspection means we have to activate them, quality inspection counting. Similarly, value-added services means we have to activate the VAL. So this is for the scanner area on the top right. You see on the top right. When you see there's a transaction code on the top right, the controls, whatever it's controlled by the layout. This is scanner area, and this is the detailed area, the bottom right, and this is the tree structure. So the layout is important. What I mean to say, when you are selecting the layout, it is very clear. You have to select the proper transaction type. And once you are done with the layout, for example, I have the layout for deco. The entry already exists. Sure, you want to cancel? Yes. So anyway, EW14, I have the DKMX. It's not shown. Okay, VPMX is there for packing. DKMX already there means what? It's not there, right? EW14. Entry already exists with the same key. Am I missing something or selection by contents? I think too much confusion today. Where is a work center? Sorry, layout. The binocular is not here. And it's all app as well, right? Okay, you can do the sorting also. It's difficult. Okay, transaction type. Transaction type 2. So EW14 already there, DKMX. Okay, no problem. So you could appreciate, right? There are, this is important, this is important. Packing general, packing in inbound, this is packing outbound, this is DECO, quality inspection counting, this is VAS. Clear. And we have 4 dedicated transactions also. So now, after knowing the layout, let's go to the work center. So this is a work center. So here I'm going to EW14. Okay. I don't have this stuff. Now I just copied from EW07. I need to have 2 work centers for DECO, right? DECO 1 and DECO 2, and 1 for expedite packing. So I assigned the appropriate layout, I just copy this and then I gave 14. And this is the one, right? I marry the Y811, the storage type, and I have 2 sections, one inbound, one outbound. You may be asking, where is the in progress section? I'll come to that little later. So assuming we can have maximum 3 sections, right? One inbound section. Inbound section means the common area, the pick-in operator or the, the staging operator is dropping it there. And the outbound means you're done with that, meaning you're done with the job. It's all good to go for the next activity. Okay, here we plug in the layout, so if you have 1 work center, we cannot have 2 layouts. And not only layout, we have 4 different transaction codes are there. If you go to the index screen, so it's better to create a 1 work center with a particular purpose, actually, not to combine them. That's a long story short. Understood? So we have a dedicated transaction, DECO, quality inspection, packing, VAS. Any questions, guys? Still any clarification required, or you guys are okay?
This concept was taken from PP, where we have work centers, and there it is also, resources are assigned to that. So here also one is resources, second is the production yield and all those things. So do we have more controls at a work center level?
What sort of controls?
Or is it just used as the kind of a storage type where all these activities are taken place in interim?
Yeah, it is just a storage type, and we have a transaction code, and the computer terminal is married, so you have the authorization. And as I said, the work center is nothing great, just a table and people doing some activities. And at the max, we have the the weighing scale and then the printer and blah blah blah. That's it. It's not like your complicated PP work center. It's just a simple one. Whereas typical activities we do, DECO, quality inspection, VAS. And all that we know is everything is storage type and bin only at the end of the day, and section mapping is there to provide more controls to address more business requirements. Yeah. But whoever has the authorization, they can log into the terminal, the transaction code which I just said, and they can do the activities. They can see the workload, and normally the inbound pool would be common pool, which is like common for multiple work centers. It's all dropped in the common area also possible. That's why we are playing with the section. And the one, if you want to grab and drop it on your work center, that means nobody else can grab it, because it's already taken by you. That is the in progress section. That's why you can do the granular mapping here, 3 sections. The inbound could be a common area, common for all 3 work centers, and then the one you grab it on your table, and then the completed work, you have great visibility. Thanks to the section, we can do some great things, and also the empowered users we talked about. The picking guy can drop wherever he wants by seeing the workload in a particular work center. He can drop.
Okay, so like the RF queues where we have picker and packer, and we can assign to queues, and they can be assigned the transfer orders, or here in this case WOs. Similarly, in the work center also, can we assign on the RF already just a picker put away person's job to put it, move the material to the work center? Can they also pull in? Can we assign that to if there are multiple work
question,
center.
Bipin, ultimate question. Yeah, this is a good question. So normally in the RF, the picking, put away or push mechanism, it's pushed to the queue. If you're qualified, for example, you're manning aisle 1 to 4, whatever pick, it will come in your device, one by one, based on your qualification. Whereas the work center, you need to pull, meaning you have to log into the work center to see the data. There is no queue concept, there is no work order concept, warehouse order concept. All that, if you log in your work center, you will see the visibility of what is there in the inbound section. And if you don't pulling, right, that means the other guy will pull, and eventually you would be questioned. So nobody is going to assign the work. It will all be in your inbound section, and that inbound section will be common for multiple work centers also. You understood my question?
No, but
you can have
picker put away queues plays a role of the workload balancing between the different people, right? Laborers. So similarly in the work center also, that should help, right? We should have something for the work volume balancing. If it is going to be just a pull, then I don't know. I mean, the resources may be constrained at particular work center.
Then you maintain a capacity, in the inbound, you maintain a capacity, and then, the picker would be directed to a specific inbound section. Each work center will have their own inbound section, and then we can ensure that we go in a round robin, for example, we maintain a capacity, for example, 5 bus bays or something. For every carton, we drop 5 carton a year, and then the next 5 carton would be dropped there, so that, everyone gets a fair workload.
Okay.
It's quite flexible, actually, like as I said, the supermarket billing counter, So
okay.
all the counter guys will not get the load, right? One slow moving guy, you'll be having a snake, huge snake queue, and the people keep jumping and, tripping about that person, and then jumping to another guy who is taking more load, whereas the other person is very slow. It's quite possible, but if you look at the fair treatment, then we have to ensure that we put in some capacity and.
Okay. Do we also have standard reports to monitor the open items at particular work center?
Yeah, work center is a storage type. You can see what is the workload.
You can do that. Always.
Yeah. Okay. Everything is a section. The more granular you map, how much is the work in progress and how much completed. All that we can see.
Okay.
And the VAS activities, you can track the activity also. The effort, same like your production order. The VAS, that is the beauty, but for other regular deco and other things, you can't track at the activity level, but at least we know how many HUs he has completed, and yeah.
Understood. Thanks.
But VAS, everything is activity. Shrink wrapping is an activity, oiling, price marking, labeling. You can go to the activity level, and you can track the activity, the effort involved, the time, planned time, and actual time. All that we can do, provided if it's a VAS activity. But for regular quality inspection, deco, yeah, it's not to that level, activity level. Okay. But more detailed level, you have to have a production order only for VAS. Okay. So that's about the. I just completed the exercise number 7. So that's a work center I defined. Right? The layout, you could appreciate the significance, and also the 3 sections, right? The concepts we know. Just keep holding it. We have only 2 sections here, inbound and outbound. So where is the 3rd section? It's a question to you guys to ponder. But this is a traditional backend screen. For this, we have the layout for the tree structure, the scanner area, and then the detailed area. And finally, we marry the work center to the bin. One bin can belong to multiple work center, and again, any combination possible. The bin to work center mapping is again up to your imagination only, or based on the business requirement only. Finally, we assign the terminal name. And finally, I told you the activity area plays a role in determining the work center. For example, let's take the inbound. In our example, this is the yellow zone. I'm just changing the thing. So activity area 1 and 2, or RKG 1 and 2. This is a deco work center 1. So RKG 3 and 4. I don't know. Sorry, RKG 2, which is your aisle number, whatever. This would be routed via deco work center 2 for inbound. Similarly, for outbound, if something is picked here, it will be routed via back work center 2. If something picked here, it will be routed via pack work center 1 because of the proximity, so we have a distribution of workload, and any emergency orders, there would be a dedicated expedite pack work center, regardless of the thing, it would be skipping the queue and directly going to the expedite pack work center. So you could appreciate now the activity area. So far, we know the usage, right? PPO only we know, PPO and CLSP. But now we know that we can do the work center determination as well. The activity area plays a major role in work center determination, both for inbound and outbound. Are you guys following?
Yeah.
All right, so coming to the Fury application, there's a nice Fury application. If you don't like the backend application, so there's a Fury application for e-commerce. Anyone can use it, no, not only for e-commerce. So assuming these are picked by the pick-in operator, and these are source HUs for the back operator point of view. These are source HUs. So these are dropped by the picker, and then his job is to consolidate them in a meaningful ship HUs. This could be plastic totes. We need to relieve the plastic totes and then consolidate them in the ship HUs, shipping cartons, proper shipping cartons, so that we save on the transportation cost. So let's see. This is a nice transaction with the image, and on the left hand side we see what are the items in the plastic tote dropped by the pick-in operator. So they have blue T-shirt, yellow shirt, digital camera, blah blah blah, and then keep moving them to the ship HU. You select the shipping carton, and also we can track the weight, how much weight is consumed, and the progress also, something leftover space you can squeeze in or not, and whatever items you want to pack them, it will guide you. And using this transaction, we can, the simple concept, left hand side we have the source HU, and on the right hand side we have the ship HU, and we have the image, and it can do many things, support batch, serial numbers, scale interface. It shows the product picture and preferred packing material, and also we can react to order reduction. This is a beautiful thing. Whenever the order is reduced after picking, the packing operator will be highlighted. It will say, okay, it's no more. He's just reduced the digital camera. He's asking only for 2, so he can keep aside the 1 camera and then continue with packing only 2 cameras. But still a lot of limitations with this transaction, especially if you are working in a bottling industry, for clients like Coca-Cola, Red Bull, or Pepsi, then you can't do many things, So for this, there is a custom solution available. Either you can purchase it or develop on your own, develop the things on your own. You can't use the pack specs. You can't add auxiliary packaging material. You can't work with catch weight products. You can't change the entire pick HU as a ship HU, So these things are still limitation. But if you want, you can just buy the custom solution. So I close.
Layout looks to be similar to HU Past. I think that's more familiar to HU Past.
Yeah, this is pretty much HU Past only, comparable. And this screen is a traditional backend screen. But if you are not happy with this screen, so you can just move to the Fury application. But the Fury application, there is no layout business. The layout business is only for the backend. And only here you can add more tabs. For example, if you're connecting to your XPS parcel carriers like, the FedEx or UPS, you can have additional tabs and then track the, the additional fields can be populated, pulled in and pulled out. The end of the day reconciliation, all can happen. So normally they will have a package. The XPS guys, they will have a package, and they will zip out the package and they will update the, the SAP backend work center transaction. But I am not sure whether the parcel carriers, they can do some magic and update the Fury application also. That's a different ball game. Okay. I'm not sure how to do that implementation. I think it should be possible, but we need some smart skill set. And also the second question is whether a carrier is evolved or not. This is the step number 1. They scan the source HU and it shows all the contents. And then you press the button change. And if you want to change the packaging material, you can say large, medium, small, extra large. Select the appropriate cotton, ship HU. and generate a label number also, and then slap the label and then keep moving, and it says 7 point whatever kilogram out of 10 kilograms. Still there is a 2.5 kilogram to put in. With that, I'm done with the work center. Any questions, guys, on the Fiori application or the regular pack work center configuration, the layout? So coming back to our setup, I'm done with 3 work centers, right? Finally, I have to marry the work center to my bin. So in the index screen, I close the favorites, and then I open the logistics, EWM, master data, work center. This is the one. So here I am saying I can marry the bin, deco work center. I can marry the outbound bin. I can have one more work in progress bin also, and then I can put it in work in progress bin, here. So my default bin will be work in progress bin. So if you ask the question, right, where is the third bin? The third bin would be here. So in my case, I am just using the 2 bin concept only, like if you see my PPT, I'm using this kind of approach only. I have the work center 2 approach only, or rather, I have different approach, one inbound and then one outbound only. I don't have a work in progress at all. Something similar to this actually. I have one inbound and then one outbound. I don't have a work in progress. So if you want, you can have 3 different bins and appreciate. Now my outbound and work in progress are one and the same. So I marry my outbound bin. Similarly, I marry the deco 2 outbound. And here I should have deco 1 outbound. I don't know why it's not coming. It's incorrect. I should have one more bin for deco 1 outbound. Anyways, I'll not do it now. I have to create the bin. And for expedite packing, I'll just give the expedite packing bin. And here, if you double click, you can give the packaging material, the default one, and also the computer terminal name, scale, and other things. Okay. You guys, LS01, I just create one more bin called deco 1 outbound or Y811. Section is INBD, sorry, OUTB. Now I can just pull it up. Done. So these are pretty simple ones, I think straightforward ones. There could be some bugs here and there. Just I appreciate if you can just come out with the, if you're not following the steps. Otherwise, fairly simple. Similarly, a stock check. These many work centers should be there. If not, you create them on a need basis. Hopefully, these many work centers should be there for each warehouse numbers. So that completes the exercise number 7. I don't want to burden. Anyway, we are running short of time now. It's all 12 noon now. So all the way from 2 to 7, you can complete them. This file I will share with this guys, ZaranTech guys. So this is the master file. So always, try to digest this one, So this is most important. This is what we are going to do in the coming days. Okay, outbound and inbound. Any questions from anyone before we?
Do you need to share this content with ZaranTech and then it will come to us, or I thought that is all uploaded?
No, the Access is uploaded. Access is uploaded. Only the 2-page, 3-page PPT, for the org template. I'm not sure whether I shared or not. I'll share the PPT.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if Nitin from ZaranTech, if you can upload that in the same folder, that will be helpful.
So can you please provide me the topic name of the file, which has to be?
No, I'll share only one file to you. Which email I have to share? To Shruti or to you, Nitin? You send me a call. You send me a mail. Sir. I will revert to the mail. All I'm going to send is a PPT converted to a PDF. That's it. One PDF will be there. So you just share it in the same folder. Where we see the exercise number 1 to all the way to 25.
Okay, done, sir. Noted.
Who is this, Nitin or Irfan?
Nitin, yes, sir.
Already posted.
Sure, sir.
Rajan, I have one more question. See, we just briefly just talked about Fiori. We're just thinking, traditionally we didn't have the Fiori that time. All these RF screens, mobile data entry, MD was there, console and all. Now in S4 we have Fiori also. How do they differentiate? Because I see that in even in EWM also that MD screens are not really changed or they're not that user friendly
No,
unless you
thanks
have
to
some
the web GUI, the mobile GUI or web GUI. So that is giving a better look and feel and easy to, adjust the style sheets or CSS, whatever, Those are
No,
very flexible
the
to
question is
modify.
actually why can't Fury completely replace that? I'm just saying what is the architectural difference between the RF screens? I mean, I'm not saying RFID, the RF screens and the Fury tiles.
It's a good question.
You need
Yeah.
just a scanning functionality in the RF and that you get in the mobile also right nowadays, right? I mean, in earlier days that was the differentiating factor, and so you needed RF screens to have the scanning function. Now you have that in the mobiles also. So why do you need RF on top of? You can manage only with Fury, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good question. But yeah, it's not that easy, SAP struggling to provide a proper. See, I told you right in the first day. If you notice my thing, I'm again flashing the screen. So right, where is the web GUI, the mobile GUI, the architecture? Yeah, this is the one. Can you guys? Am I still sharing the screen or not? It
Yeah.
shared, right? So you see whether you are using the mobile GUI or the ITS mobile. Okay, it's riding on a framework. The framework I told you, right? There are 150 plus strings supported and 500 plus screens. The PBO, the PAA module, all evolved, in this 15 years actually, So brand new, all our people are using the OData and the APIs. Everyone, Tom, Dick, and Harry, they're publishing their own APIs in the API portal. The API hub is there, right? They're all partners are all publishing APIs without knowing some may be knowing, some may be experienced, some may be like no ways. They don't know what is there in SAP and how the dialogue structure has evolved over a period of time. So that's what this is not a easy job, changing overnight or it has to evolve. The OData and API has to match for this 15 years of SAP's framework. Whereas the mobile GUI and the HTML are all riding on the framework only. At the end of the day, you're going to scan something, right? The sources look on the destination screen. I can appreciate if it's a desktop transaction, you need a great look and feel, and the Fiori app is important. But in the mobile device, in a tiny window, whether Fiori or not Fiori, why you are bothered? Why you are a client as a client, why you are very finicky about the Fiori? Maybe I will challenge the question. I'll ask the question to the client. But yeah, I'm not a very great fan of having the Fiori in the tiny device actually. Yeah. The ruggedized device, it makes sense to me if it's a work center transaction or GR receiving, it makes sense to me, the Fiori application. But in that tiny little window, whether it's a ruggedized device or the Android phone or the Apple phone, it doesn't make much difference. At the end of the day, my job is to scan and get the hell, move to the destination screen. And I'm looking at this time tested, the evolved one, where I can tweak a bit and I can ride on these horses rather than doing everything from OData, API, the fancy stuff, and finally wasting the project and crashing it. I'm not a super fan of this thing, but anyway, I've seen the Walmart guys. They have taken the OData and they have their own, Angular experts and the Python experts. So they were doing crazy stuff. They don't like the SAP ITS, But nowadays the web GUI is there at least to stopgap measure. SAP has also understood the problem with the ITS. We need to do a lot of config changes and we have a lot of dependency on the developer. But now the mobile GUI is easy to tweak the screen size, the push button, the color, whatever. Even if people are not convinced, always the OData is there. People can do anything. But OData, keep in mind, I think they're saying something. OData with that we can have a batch upload and compared to the RF, the signals not picking up in the black zone. Still, the OData is much better. They're saying the structure. Something going on actually. You should watch some videos of the SAP guys talking. The place where to watch the videos of the SAP. No idea. The
So
okay, I'll show it maybe the next day. All right,
sorry,
guys.
sorry, I missed it. What was it? The last one you said?
I'm saying there is a site actually, where
Huh?
you can watch the. I'm sharing the screen.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Oh, it's coming with this. Somewhere I'm flashing the huge slider. Okay, this is the one culprit. Okay, so now I just go to the Chrome. I am not sure whether I have bookmarked it or not. So bookmarks. EWM key sites, yeah. Podcast, yeah. You see somewhere podcast. Can you guys see? No. Yes. Where? This is there podcast. No, this is a different one. This is a Tom Raffrey. But there's another podcast. If you go to the EWM community site only, I don't know, this straightforward only community site. If you go, so there you should be able to see the podcast. Here there's a podcast. Have you ever watched these videos, the audios?
Not
Never.
this one. Yeah, not this one specifically.
Okay. So this one is really good. This is where the two guys, Richard Kirker and another guy, they quite frequently update one. Oh, it's asking many things actually. So I should go back and then podcast only. Yeah. So here they are saying, the RF and there is one podcast. You can just listen to that. Mobile working podcast number 5. So it will tell you, all the problems, whether RF framework, the Fiori apps, blah blah blah. Hear it from the SAP guys.
Can you also share these all artifacts to ZaranTech, like the key sites, the key podcast, and I mean that's a good read. So we can always.
No, pretty much you go to the community and then just improve your inquisitiveness and you'll get everything there. From the community only you have to see. The community does many things now. The podcasts are taken from there, and then there is a the LinkedIn page, and then there is a from here you could see the latest the feature pack substances. It will have launched to wiki, although the wiki and other things like that. From here only I go normally. And getting lazy, sometimes they move the cat kitten movements they do. That's why I bookmark them and then keep updating them. Actually, I'm becoming old, rather old. So I'm just not happy with this thing. So I just bookmark them. But you see all the podcasts, pretty much 14. I think they launched this initiative quite recently only. Maybe these two guys only I'm talking about, Andreas Rupp, and this guy is a very veteran actually. Maybe 30 years experience guy, Matthias Natter. So. Matthias, yeah, not Richard Kirker, Matthias Natter, yeah. Podcast they started recently only, 2021, 2 years, 3 years, just 15 only they posted, yeah. So you can listen to them to get some, conceptual understanding, especially on the RF roadmap, yeah. All right, with that I will let you go. We are done with the E1, E2 all the way to E7. These guys are still making it fun. I'll do it, I'll just share the server access today, the remote desktop access today. You guys can start practicing and build your warehouse parallelly 2 to 7. We'll be in a good shape, if not tomorrow, at least by Wednesday or Thursday, if you are there, completed all the way until 11, exercise number 11, you are in a good shape. Okay, from 12 onwards, we are going to do the scenarios. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for that.
Okay, Bipin. Thanks a lot, others as well, for your time and attention. Talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you for attending the session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to ask your questions in the comment section below, and we will reply to them at the earliest.